I have a confession to make. I'm obsessed with finding out how people are making money. Every time I see a trending, viral or interesting business or interesting way someone's making money, I need to find out more. So in this video, I'm gonna go over a business that's making more than $3.3 million per month and breaking down what makes them successful, their revenue, their estimated profit margin, how they get customers, and what I would do if I want to start something similar. By the way, my name's Arav and I'm the founder and CEO of bizexplorer.co because the .com was taken. So the business is called Guru Nanda. This business is pulling insane numbers right now. 60,000 sales for their main product, 20,000 for another variation, 10,000 here, 30,000 sales for their whitening strips. And they have a bunch of other products that all get a couple of thousand sales each. Let's say they sell around 150,000 units. And let's take an average selling price of $13. That's $2 million they make in revenue per month, and that's just from Amazon. Their website gets around 80,000 visits per month. If you take like a 2% conversion rate and $15 average cart, that's around $24,000 from their website as well. And they've made around 1.3 million in the past 30 days on TikTok Shop. That's around $40 million per year. If you assume a 3 times annual revenue valuation, which seems a bit low for a company that's reached this size and pretty much created their own category, that makes this company worth around $120 million. So what do they actually sell? The main product is something called pulling oil, which is like a mouthwash type thing that helps whiten your teeth and is good for your mouth health. They're literally beating Listerine in the mouthwash category. And that's the company that invented the mouthwash category. And so is this apparently, which is interesting. They also have teeth whitening strips and a bunch of other stuff in that niche. So why is this working? If you think about it, they aren't really selling anything that's completely revolutionary. There was already mouthwashes that exist. There was already teeth whitening strips. So what makes this brand so successful? Well, I have a few theories. The first and most important thing has to be product. Since product is literally the foundation of every good business. It doesn't matter how good their marketing, their price, or their margins are. If their product was bad, none of that would matter in the long term. If you take a look at their main product, the pulling oil, it's not exactly the same thing as Listerine or any other mouthwash. There's a few things different about the product that give it a unique angle. The first is that it's oil-based. Listerine and other mouthwashes generally make your mouth feel really dry after using them. But since this is oil-based, that doesn't happen with this. Personally, I wouldn't think this would be that appealing to people since I don't really want to swish oil, but I guess not. It also helps whiten your teeth a lot faster than toothpaste or teeth whitening strips. If you use teeth whitening toothpaste, it usually takes around 30 days to see the full effect. The same with teeth whitening strips as well. Plus they're annoying to use. For their pulling oil mouthwash, all you have to do is swish it in your mouth for a few minutes. So even if this also takes around 30 days to work properly, if you use it for the first time and there's a noticeable before and after, that's an instant dopamine hit. You buy the product because you think it can do something for you, but until you've actually tried it for yourself, you're going off what other people in the company are saying. But as soon as you use the product, all that doubt, all that uncertainty, all that thinking, will this actually work for me, goes away. And you know exactly what the product can do. If it's as good as you expected, you like the product and you keep using it. If it's worse than you expected, you feel kind of ripped off and you probably won't buy it again. It's also positioned as natural and doesn't seem as chemically as other mouthwashes, since the ingredients are pretty much just a bunch of essential oils and coconut oil. They also market it like it's the one thing that can solve all your problems, which I doubt it can do. But based off the reviews, it seems like people are pretty happy with it. The price isn't that high either. It's like $15, which is low enough that people can buy it without thinking. I think the real secret behind why they're so big has to be how they get customers. The main way people find out about them is TikTok. There's literally thousands of people making TikToks about their products. Now the question is, why? Why are there thousands of people making TikToks about them? The answer comes down to 3 things. The first is TikTok Shop. People are making videos about them because they get a commission from each sale their videos about them bring. So TikTok added this thing called TikTok Shop, where people that use TikTok can just buy stuff on the app. They don't have to go to the company's website or any other place to buy the product. Let's say you see a TikTok of someone using their pulling oil or using their teeth whitening strips, and you decide to buy it. If you buy it through TikTok Shop, the person who made the video also gets a cut of the sale. That's why so many people are making videos using their products. They all want some of that money. So this is an example of videos that people are making, and this one made them around $26,000. It's a pretty straightforward video and it doesn't seem that really complicated to make. There's also a bunch of other people making similar videos. But you know, if it was that easy, every single business on Tik Tok Shop would be winning like this. But that's not what's happening. That's because the second reason they've been able to build an army of people making content for them is a combination of escape velocity, momentum, and monkey see, monkey do. It's the same reason why a lot of YouTubers start getting sponsored by the same company. Here's what happens. Let's say you're a content creator and every day you get thousands of emails from companies that want to sponsor you. And for 95% of them, you can instantly tell that they're dodgy. It's not something you would want to put your face behind. For the other 4.9%, it might be something you could do, but you don't know if the company is legit or not. You don't know if their product actually works. You don't know if they have a good reputation. You don't know if they'll actually pay you after they sponsor you. And there's always a possibility of the people that watch you getting scammed by them. And that just hurts all the goodwill you've built up with your audience so far. So there's a lot of doubt around who you should promote. And since you're a content creator, you probably see other content creators you watch being sponsored by certain brands. So you see one content creator be sponsored by a certain brand. So you think, that's interesting. But when you see 2 or more creators being sponsored by that same brand, you think, alright, that business is probably legit. And then when you get an email from them wanting to sponsor you, you don't even doubt it because you've already seen a bunch of creators that you watch being sponsored by them. So they must be legit. When everyone's doing it, it's not seen as weird. You don't stick out and the risk to your reputation is lower. If it turns out that company actually was a scam, you don't get all of the blame since everyone was doing it. But usually most of the companies that sponsor people are legit. By the way, this is exactly what happened with me for a sponsorship for Copy AI. I heard about them on the MFM podcast and a bunch of other places, and then I got an email of them wanting to sponsor a video, which made it an easy decision because I knew the company was legit. There's a reason why Amazon has star reviews and how many people bought the item in the past month under the product title and above the price. People buy what other people are buying. The less they have to think about something, the more likely they are to buy it. So I have a product that I sell on Amazon, and without having the first review, so no stars were shown, it only got around 2 to 4 sales per month. After getting the first review, that jumped to around 50 to 70 sales per month. Literally nothing else changed. It was already using Amazon FBA, so the shipping was fast. The photos stayed the same, the description stayed the same. The only thing that changed was the review. There was now social proof, and that had such a huge impact. People also do what other people are doing. I think a huge reason behind why Guru Nanda has been able to sell millions of dollars worth of product is because of that. When people hear about creators making tons of money by making videos promoting their products, they don't want to miss out on an easy and simple way to make money that they think is guaranteed and risk-free. It's like a gold rush for the internet age. It doesn't matter if there's another product that they could promote and probably pays better or is a better fit, since they've already seen so many other creators making money specifically from Guru Nanda and their products. The risk is pretty much zero and they know for a fact that they can get rewarded. I bet that's also a big reason why everyone wants to become a YouTuber nowadays, or they're opening up their school community, because the potential upside is huge and the downside is pretty much zero. So is that it? Have a good product and build an army of content creators? Well, there's one more thing that makes this strategy work really well, and it's one of the things that the product I sell doesn't have, which makes it a lot harder to sell, and I don't think Guru Nanda would have been able to scale as much as they did if they didn't have this. And that's the fact that their products are really easy to make videos for. For their pulling oil mouthwash, it's really easy to make a video where you have the hook, you show the before, you get the mouthwash, you use it, and then you spit it out and show the after. This structure has pretty much everything you want in a TikTok. It has the hook, it has anticipation, and it has the reward. Even for the teeth whitening strips, people can easily show them being used in a video. If you were trying to sell something like a multivitamin which you just take, I don't think this strategy would have worked as well as it has. You could make a video of yourself swallowing the pill and talking about what it does, but that's like a different style of content. And there's no real action shot. So an action shot would be like showing the sausage being made. Nobody wants to see a sausage that's already made and just sitting there. They want to see the sausage being made. Another thing that makes this work is the fact that they can show an instant before and after in the video. If you had something like a scar cream, it would be a lot harder to make videos for that at scale. First, people will need to have scars or injuries so they can actually use the scar cream on it. And I doubt people are going to injure themselves just for the video. The second is time. It takes a lot of time to recover and heal, even if you use scar cream. You could make like a time-lapse video, but compared to like the instant before and after with the pulling oil mouthwash, it's like playing on hard mode. So if I wanted to start something like Guru Nanda and their pulling oil mouthwash, here's what I would do. First, I want to figure out any unique angle or opportunity in the space that makes my product different than what they're already selling, so it's not just a duplicate. And the second is figuring out the estimated profit margins and how much I can make if I sell a bunch of units. So to calculate the margin, I opened this margin calculator I made in Notion for a product that I have. So Guru Nanda sells their pulling oil for $14.99. I'll put that in the selling price. So then I go to Alibaba and search for Guru Nanda pulling oil and see what comes up. So there's a bunch of different listings selling like similar products to Guru Nanda. So I'll just click on a few of them, and I'll also go on the category pages for like, most popular. And it seems like the average cost per unit is around $2.2 to like $3, but since Guru Nanda has a lot of scale, let's say their unit cost is like $2 each. So I'll put that in the margin calculator, $2. And the shipping cost, I would say, is probably around 1.5 for them. So Amazon fees are 15%. This is how much FBA costs, so 4.32. This is just the Amazon fees in dollar terms. So their profit per unit is around $9.24. That's like a 61% profit margin, which is pretty good. So profit to COGS ratio is 4.62, which is high. This doesn't include any marketing costs or anything, so that would obviously bring the profit margins down, which you can still add in here. So let's say it's like $2, it would be like $6 profit then. So their scaling ratio, which is the cash flow over COGS, is 5.62, which is pretty good. So what this means is if they sell one unit, they can buy 5 more from that profit. And there's a bunch of different profit numbers. If they sell this many in this month, like for 300 sales in a month, they would make around $3,700. Let's say they sell around 220,000 units in a month. That's around $3.3 million in a month in revenue. And the estimated profit would be around 1.7 million. So let's say if I want to start this and I want to buy like 1,000 units, it would cost $4,000. So if I put that in here, that means I would need to sell around 497 units to make that $4,000 back, just to break even. So after I figure out the margin and I think it's worth doing and I can get a lot of sales doing it, I would message all the companies that sell this on Alibaba and see what the actual numbers are. Because the numbers that are always listed on the listing are never really the numbers that you actually get. And there's always shipping costs which you have to include. Usually after you message a lot of the companies that sell like a similar thing, you can like figure out which one's actually good or not, just based on how they talk with you and like how they explain stuff. I would also check their company on Import Yeti, which shows like import and export data. So the more activity they have there, the more legit and like good they are. So after talking with them, I want to get samples made from like the best 2 or 3 companies. I've ordered a bunch of samples from companies on Alibaba, and usually they cost around $100 each. And most of that's just shipping cost. So if I like the sample, I would order the minimum order quantity, which is usually around 500 or 1,000 units. And then I would send them to like a fulfillment center like Amazon FBA. But if I want my own custom formula or product, I would take a look at all the ingredients that are in Guru Nanda's pulling oil and a bunch of their other competitors. I would order all the ingredients. Then I would try to come up with a formula that's better than all the other people's, because why would anyone buy something that's worse than what's already out there? It has to be better than what's already out there. And then when I want to scale, I can like find bulk essential oils and coconut oils on Alibaba as well. If you do try to make a more custom formula, you'll also need to figure out the packaging and the bottles and how to assemble everything as well. As for selling it, I would put it on Amazon from day one. I would also make a Shopify store, and if I was in the USA, I would also put it on TikTok Shop. And for marketing, I would make a ton of content and focus on short form. So like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, or Instagram Reels. Plus, get in touch with content creators and try to sign them up as affiliates. And also send them the product so they can make videos with it. By the way, this sounds pretty simple, but it's actually pretty fucking torturous. 95% of people won't even reply. Some people will ask for so much money that you'll need to sell at least 1,000 units just to break even. And it's obvious they won't even be able to sell that much. People will say they'll become affiliates but never sign up. They'll have affiliate links of other products on their Linktree or their bio and make pennies on those. But if you offer something that makes them like a bit more, they won't even consider it. A few people might become affiliates, but you realize that only 1 out of like 10 people actually gets any results, and the other 9 barely get any clicks. And then that one affiliate that actually does work will ask for more money because they think you're making so much because of them. But they don't realize that there's not enough profit margin to give them more. But since they only see the revenue, they think you're making so much money just because of them. and then they stop being an affiliate and you're just left with 1,000 messages left on read and with a month-long ban on TikTok because you tried DMing too many people to become affiliates. And the messages you sent to get affiliates might give an influencer who's already huge the idea to start the same business as you and become a competitor. But hey, that's just how it is. Fucking hell, all of those things actually happened. So getting to the escape velocity stage is super hard, and you should probably have like a unique edge in how you get customers if you want to win. Or your product has to be really mind-blowing and shareable, like ChatGPT, so customers do the marketing for you. I would also try paid ads on Amazon to get the initial sales and try to improve my organic ranking. So Amazon ads literally 2.4 times the sales my product was getting, and it costs like 15 to 20% of the margin. There's a lot more to this which I can't put in the video, but I would definitely try Amazon ads. As for meta ads, so Facebook and Instagram, to be honest, I've never really been able to make them work profitably since they're so expensive and the selling price and profit margin of a product like this isn't really that high. Of course there's products that can make them work, but you will need to know what to actually do for those. So like for example, let's say the average CPM, so how much it costs you to show 1,000 people your ad, is $10, and your click-through rate is 3%. That means 30 people visit your landing page. So it costs you 10 divided by 30. So that's 33 cents per click. If the conversion rate on your landing page is 1%, that means 1 out of every 100 people buy your product. So you need at least 100 people to go to your website for one sale. If each click costs you 33 cents, that's $33.33 you need to spend in ads to get one sale, which for a lot of lower price products means it isn't profitable on the first sale, and that makes paid ads a lot harder. By the way, I personally don't think you'll get the same amount of success if you sell something similar or the same thing as Guru Nanda, since they pretty much own the category. But funnily enough, the Guru Nanda hype is so big that there's actually a few products selling the exact same thing, like with the exact same branding as well, on Amazon and getting like a few thousand sales per month. There's even people reviewing those and saying that they thought it was Guru Nanda instead of like a knockoff. That's why they bought it. So if I put the knockoff numbers in the margin calculator, so $20 selling price and like 1,000 units sold. So they're making around $20,000 in revenue and probably around $12,000 in profit. Also, another thing which I think helps them a lot is their name. It's called Guru Nanda Pulling Oil. The pulling in the name makes it sound like it's pulling out all the bad stuff in your mouth, and it sounds like it's doing something powerful. If it was called something like Guru Nanda Oil Mouthwash, the first thing I think is like, ew, why would I want to use oil as a mouthwash? It seems kind of disgusting. By the way, the name works because a lot of people already know what pulling oil means now. I think in the start it would have been a lot harder since nobody knew what pulling oil even is. I think the name you decide to call a product has a huge impact on the business. For example, there's like 2 AI newsletters that I know about. One of them has 100,000 subscribers and the other has 700,000. Which one do you think is bigger? So the names are Ben's Bites and Superhuman.ai. If you guess Superhuman.ai, you guessed right. They have literally 7 times the amount of size that Ben's Bites does. Now I'm sure there's a bunch of other different reasons behind that as well, like their product, their content, their messaging, and a whole bunch of other stuff. But when I see a newsletter with the name Ben's Bites, I'm like, who's Ben? What are these bites? Is this a food thing? What does this even mean? What am I gonna get out of it? The name isn't really just that captivating. Meanwhile, Superhuman.ai is a lot stronger. I can clearly tell it's something about AI and making you superhuman. I don't know about you, but personally, I'm interested in all the ways that people make money, and not just like a D2C product or e-com or Shopify or like TikTok Shop. And that's why I started a newsletter which goes over trending, viral, or interesting businesses or interesting ways people are making money. If you also want to find out how other people make money, you can subscribe by going to bizexplorer.co.